She was found in a vacant lot in Los Angeles on a cold January morning in 1947. No wallet, no jewelry, no shoes, and no blood at the scene, not a single drop, because every last drop had been drained from her body somewhere else. Her name was Elizabeth Short. She was 22 years old, and the world would never forget what was done to her. The case would become known as the Black Dahlia murder, not because of anything she did in life, but because of what was done to her in death. The nickname came from the press, and they ran with it like wolves. Elizabeth had moved to Los Angeles chasing a dream that never came. She was charming, beautiful, and deeply alone. Friends described her as warm but guarded. She bounced between rooming houses, borrowed money, and told people she was waiting for her big break. But the break never came. On the morning of January 15th, 1947, a woman walking with her daughter spotted what she thought was a broken mannequin lying in the grass on South Norton Avenue. She looked closer. It wasn't a mannequin. Elizabeth's body had been severed completely in two at the waist. Her skin was scrubbed clean. Her face had been slashed at the corners of the mouth, carved into a grotesque smile that stretched nearly to her ears. She had been tortured before death, and then posed, deliberately, almost theatrically, arms above her head, body arranged with precision. Whoever did this wanted her to be found exactly like that. The investigation became the most intensive in LAPD history at the time. Over 150 men confessed to the murder. Every single one was ruled out. The real killer was never identified. Detectives followed thousands of leads. They investigated doctors, dentists, and surgeons, because whoever did this understood anatomy. The bisection was surgical in its precision. The body had been drained of blood, using a technique that pointed to medical knowledge. But the trail ran cold every time. There was a letter sent to a local newspaper 10 days after the murder. It was made from newspaper clippings, a ransom note-style message, and it included Elizabeth's birth certificate, business cards, and photographs. Sent by the killer, almost certainly, playing a game. Then the letters stopped, and the killer vanished into history. Over the decades, more than 500 suspects have been named. Authors, journalists, and retired detectives have written entire books pointing the finger at different men. George Hodel, a respected physician, was named by his own son, a former LAPD detective who believed his father was responsible. Forensic analysis seemed to support some of those claims. But George Hodel died in 1999. No charges were ever filed. No conviction ever came. Elizabeth Short has now been dead for nearly 80 years. Her file is still open. What haunts investigators most isn't the brutality of the crime. It's the staging. The killer wanted to make a statement. They spent hours with her body after death, cleaning, arranging, posing. That level of control and deliberation suggests someone who believed they were untouchable. And they were right. The Black Dahlia case taught America something it didn't want to know. That some killers are simply never caught. That some answers die with the murderer. That justice, for all its machinery, sometimes arrives too late, or not at all. Elizabeth Short deserved better than a vacant lot and a headline. She deserved to have her story told by someone who remembered she was a person, not just a case number. So tonight, we remember her. Not as a mystery, not as a spectacle, but as a young woman who came to Los Angeles looking for something beautiful and found only darkness instead. Her killer is still out there, or gone now, unpunished. Either way, the case remains open, and Elizabeth Short remains unavenged.